It's the kind of weather normally reserved for football season, but today here at Jordan Field, the NIC first place in the baseball race gets decided as the Marian Knights pay a visit to the Penn Kingsmen on this edition of the 46th Game of the Week. And how you doing, everybody? With the Hall of Famer and former Pirate minor leaguer Bo Hunt and Angelo DiCarlo on the sidelines, it's Chuck Freeby. Great to have you with us for NIC Baseball on TV 46. The Marian Knights come in with a record of 10-3. Maybe a little bit surprising because this was a very young team a year ago. They're still young, but they've got some experience now.
Yeah, when you look at this team, they only have a few seniors that play a significant role in this team. There's still a bunch of juniors and underclassmen that are playing. But these kids have been playing together since they were 7, 8, 9 years old. They've done a lot of travel ball together. These kids know each other very well. They've had a lot of baseball underneath their belt, and they expect a lot of things out of this team this year, not just next year.
Penn is the defending state champ in Class 4A. Greg Dykes' team, though, not only lost to graduation, they have had some key injuries, played a rugged schedule, but as the calendar turns to May, you almost always see the Kingsmen rev it up, and they have as of late.
Yeah, when you go with the NIC conference, you always got to go through Penn, and that's one of the biggest things they work for during the season. But their end goal is winning that last game. They were able to win that last game last year and win that state championship. They're working out some bugs. They had some injuries, like you said, but they got so many guys that they can just plug and play and bring up from the JV that are really talented kids.
As you can tell by the attire, it's not warm. Angelo DiCarlo can confirm that. He is down on the field. And Ange, how do the conditions play a factor in today's game?
Well, it's 43 degrees. The threshold to play high school baseball is generally around 40 degrees, so we're just over that mark. You know, fastballs coming in. It is not going to be fun to swing the bats with those aluminum bats. That never is easy. But the bottom line is we're able to play a baseball game because they have field turf now here at Penn High School. It's just their third season with field turf, but if it wasn't for this, they would not be able to probably play because of all the rain that was in the area. So that's the good news. We're able to play. It's a little chilly, but first place is on the line in the NIC. I think there are no complaints from the players on the field. They're excited to get going here.
Yeah, but nobody's saying let's play two today. We'll settle for one. It's Marian and Penn. We've got the key players and the keys to win coming up on the 46th Game of the Week.
This is the WHME TV 46 High School Game of the Week, brought to you by HealthLink, Precision Door, Hometown Pharmacy, Ivy Tech South Bend Elkhart, Health Markets Tony Letcher, Martin Supermarkets, Purdue Northwest College of Nursing, Bill's Heating, City of South Bend Golf, Reliance, Basney Honda, Warren Golf Course, Crown Trophy, and the IHSAA.
And this edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you by HealthLink, your community health center. Welcome back to Jordan Field in Mishawaka as we get you ready for Marian and Penn in this big NIC baseball showdown. And we welcome you into the Martin Supermarket broadcast booth. Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt high above the fray. Let's get you ready for today's game by a look at our key players and keys to win. And for the Marian Knights, boy, you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody playing better baseball in the area right now than Cameron Bortone. The big first baseman for the Knights is stroking the ball at over a 500 clip, 519 to be exact, and he has been pounding it against good competition. Bortone with a couple of homers and 16 RBI despite a torn labrum. He'll get help in the lineup today from David Scheiko, the junior right fielder, batting .381 on the season. He brings some speed towards the top of the order, a much improved player from last season. The keys to win for Joe Turnock and the Knights.
Well, the keys to win tonight for the Marian Knights, they need to pitch well and play clean defense. I think that's one of the key things in all ball games. They need to stay out of that big inning. They need to limit the amount of runs that Penn scores in those big innings and stay on the positive side of the count. They need to make sure that when they're pitching that they get ahead and stay ahead early. Here's Coach Joe Turnock on his thoughts on this conference rivalry.
I mean, Penn's always a good club. I mean, Greg Dykes does a great job over here. And they're kind of the standard for baseball in northern Indiana. But, you know, I believe, you know, where we're at from a competitive standpoint, we'll compete well with the guys. And if you want to win conference, you got to beat Penn. You got to beat St. Joe. I mean, that's kind of the way it is. And, you know, we're making the progress, and we're here, and we've created an opportunity for ourselves. So I'm looking forward to playing tonight.
They will face a tough hombre on the mound tonight in Adam Lehman. The Western Michigan commit has had a sensational year on the mound, going 4-1 with a 0.66 ERA, and he started the season with a perfect game against LaPorte. Then when it comes to offense, Cooper Hums leads the way, the senior center fielder, batting .408 on the season. Just like Lehman, he's going to play at Western Michigan. He leads the team in runs scored and in hits. The keys to win for the veteran, Greg Dykos, and the Kingsmen.
The keys to win today for the Kingsmen. Lehman needs to get ahead in the count. They want to be able to throw multiple pitches against their batters. They got to get ahead in that count, and they need to put the ball in play offensively, put the pressure on the defense. Penn loves to actually put any type of pressure there is at offense on that defense and take advantage of opportunities. Anytime Marian makes a mistake, Penn wants to capitalize on that. Here's Coach Greg Dykos.
Right now, you know, they're playing with a lot of confidence. Most of them were here last year, and so they've been on the stage, and they know what it's all about. They know what it took to get there. We just got to remind them how difficult it really was last year. Sometimes they think it's just going to be, you know, easy, walk through it, but it's not going to be that way. So my job was to make sure their feet stay on the ground and make sure that they take it one game at a time.
The Kingsmen still wear the crown, but as Shakespeare told us, uneasy is the head that wears the crown, and the Knights have come to try to claim what they think is theirs, first place in the NIC. Should be a fun one. Those have been our key players and keys to win. The starting lineups and opening pitcher next on 46. And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by Precision Door. When you call, rest assured a talented professional will arrive at your door. Crowd filing into Jordan Field as we get ready for Marian and Penn. Time for the Marian batting order. Here's Bo Hunt.
Starting lineup tonight for the Marian Knights. The visitors on the scoreboard. You got the Oliver brothers in the lineup, 1-1, 1-9. Shiko in the two-hole bays playing shortstop. Bortone hitting .484 on the year. In the 7-hole, or in the 6-hole, playing third base tonight would be Cole Allen Hunt. Name sounds familiar?
A little bit. That's your boy. We might as well get that out there for everybody right away.
Yeah.
But Bo says he'll be impartial, and I've been around him enough to know I believe him. So let's take a look at tonight's starting pitcher for Penn. That's Adam Lehman, and what a year he's having. 4-1, 0.66 ERA. 32 innings, just 11 hits, 12 walks, and 50 strikeouts on the year. When you look at this guy, what do you see, Bo?
I see a lot of fastballs that's going to set up his slider and his changeup. He just does a great job of locating pitches. In order to have a complete game like he did in his first game, perfect game, and have a .66 ERA, you have to be able to get ahead early in the count and locate your pitches, and especially that fastball. You have to be able to throw that fastball inside and outside, not just paint the outside corner, but you'd be able to hit both corners of the plate.
His fastball comes in usually right around 87 miles an hour, and the nice thing is it's got a little bit of arm side run on it, so it's going to break in on the hands of a right-handed hitter. As we set the Penn defense for you, Hunter Moret gets the start in left field tonight because Ezra Vespi is hurting a little bit. Hums and Tousley in center and right. The infield is set with Cromartie, Dombrowski, Hudnall, and Finn, and then Lehman working with the catcher, Zach Pelletier, tonight. But to go over the rest of the book on Lehman, 87-mile-an-hour fastball with the arm side run. He'll throw a curve and a slider and a change. But he has had to step into a much different role this year than he had to pitch in last year, not only because of what Penn lost in graduation, but what they lost in injury. We'll go through that as the game goes along. J.J. Oliver leads it off for Marian, batting .362 with a homer and 10 runs batted in. The All-NIC first-teamer from a year ago takes the first pitch high, and we're underway at Jordan Field. 5:33 start time, just like clockwork here for the Kingsmen. 1-0 pitch. And that's hit high in the air to deep left field. The wind might get a hold of it. It's going back, and it is gone. Home run, J.J. Oliver, and what a start for the Marian Knights.
What a great job by JJ, just dialing in on that pitch, understanding that he was going to come back with that fastball right down the middle. Little cold out here, so that's not going to have as much speed on it.
The wind blowing out of the northwest at about 12 and gusting to 18 miles an hour may have helped this one a little, but Oliver put a great charge into it, and all Marek could do was watch it bounce across the sidewalk. It brings up David Scheiko, the right fielder, and the first pitch to Scheiko is taken high and away for a ball. This is a Marian team that has hit the ball well all year. That's their 10th homer as a team. Scheiko batting .381, no homers, 10 RBI, and Lehman has missed high and away with the last two pitches, and his pitcher Pelletier will go out to have a word with him.
Yeah, it's one of the things we talked about, keys to win for Penn. They need to get ahead early in the count, need to throw strikes early. First two batters now starting out with balls.
And you have to wonder if, knowing that this is a big game, first time they've ever played on TV, gets everybody amped up a little much. For a pitcher, being amped up isn't always the best. 2-0 pitch misses high, and it's 3-0.
Yeah, you're exactly right. When you're talking about a big game, you're going to be amped up a little bit more, but being one of the only local high school baseball games that you're doing on TV, and they all know that, they all know what's on the line, you're going to be a little bit amped up. And what happens with that, with pitchers, is the ball usually tends to sail high.
And it sailed high after one sailed out off the bat of J.J. Oliver. 3-1 now on Scheiko. The pitch. Ball four, he walked him. Runner on first, nobody out for Chase Bays. Bays playing shortstop today with Bryce Lassane out of the lineup. Joe Turnock juggled his infield a little bit. Bays, a junior, batting .378. He's got some pop. 2 homers, 17 knocked in. Nice breaking ball that time from Lehman. First time we've seen him throw that pitch today, and if Uncle Charlie comes a-calling, might be tough to catch up with.
Yeah, that was a good call for Lehman to go to that curveball here on the 3-hole hitter of Bays.
The 0-1, another breaking ball swinging a foul tip into the mid of Pelletier. It's 0-2. Tom Stanton, the pitching coach for Penn, calls the pitches and maybe trying to get Lehman to focus a little bit more here. Scheiko, good lead over at first. 0-2 taken high. It's 1-2. A ball and 2 strikes on Bays, who has several D1 schools interested in him. You see Scheiko, the runner at first. He has 4 stolen bases. Breaking ball foul tip, foul down the first base line. And it's still 1-2. Adam Lehman, a young man that a year ago only struck out 49 batters for the season. He already has 50 Ks this year.
A lot of work in the offseason for Lehman.
Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss on a fastball. And Bays is strikeout victim number 51 for Lehman in 2023. I'll bring up Cam Bortone, the first baseman, the junior, leads the team with a .484 average, 2 homers and 16 RBI. But what's most impressive is he's doing this with a torn labrum.
Yeah, he's been injured for the whole season. And I think one of the things with Bortone is he had a little bit of a rough sophomore year and really worked hard in the offseason during summer ball and really found his groove swinging the bat, and it's really carried over to this season.
He'll have surgery this summer. Takes that pitch high, and it's 2-0. Bortone got injured during football season, tore that labrum in week 8 of the season against Elkhart, as you see Scheiko, the runner at first. The 2-0 from Lehman. Outside corner, it's 2-1.
That's a great 2-0 pitch there, just hitting that outside corner. That's something as a batter you're looking just dead red, and when they put on that outside, it's something you're just going to kind of let it go.
Outfield playing Bortone straight away. Infield at double play depth. There goes Scheiko, and the pitch fouled away. Bortone trying to protect the runner that time, although Scheiko got a pretty good jump. 2-2 the count on Cam Bortone. Lehman forced into being the ace of the staff after Joseph Trenery and Braden Schetza both went down with injuries in the offseason, as that one's hit foul. Those are both Division I commits, by the way. Trenery going to Purdue and Schetza to Wright State. And Greg Dicus loses those two from his pitching staff even before opening day.
Well, that's the thing with Penn. I mean, they did lose those guys, but they have about 4 or 5 guys that still throw 85 plus on that staff.
2-2 down in the turf. The throw by Pelletier is in time, and he guns down Scheiko at second. An excellent throw by Zach Pelletier. We saw him do that against Mishawaka when we scouted the Kingsmen, and he does it here against Scheiko with a perfect strike on a pitch that wasn't all that easy to handle for a catcher.
No, that's just a great job. That pitch is down, but he just got such a great release and put it right on the money.
Now the payoff to Bortone. Up and in, and Bortone will walk down to first. Second walk of the inning for Lehman, who still seems to be trying to find his comfort zone here in the first.
Yeah, everything's still just up a little bit, not able to find that fastball. The curveball's been working just enough to where he's been able to get some guys out, but still trying to find that fastball.
Evan Schmittendorf has been flexing the muscles at the plate a little bit lately. He's got a couple of homers to go with a .310 average, 13 knocked in. The 3-year starting catcher for the Knights taps one foul towards Joe Chernock in that third base coach's box, and it's 0-1. Bortone chatting it up with Casey Finn down at first base. Bortone does have 2 stolen bases on the year. Oh, nice breaking ball by Lehman there, and it's 0-2.
Finn, normally a middle infielder, playing first base because of some injuries and some guys moving around.
The 0-2. Another breaking ball, but he missed upstairs with it. The count goes to 1-2. And you almost wonder if Lehman should just stay with that breaking ball because it doesn't look like Schmittendorf's getting a really good read on it. Instead, he went fastball and strikes him out for the second K of the inning. But J.J. Oliver's leadoff homer for the Marian Knights puts them in front of Penn, 1-0 after half an inning at Jordan Field. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Hometown Pharmacy. It's the freedom to make life better right here in the Princess City. As the Knights take the field, Penn gets ready to come to the plate. Here's Bo with the Kingsmen starting lineup.
Starting lineup tonight for the Penn Kingsmen. You got Cooper Hums in the leadoff spot. Cooper's committed to play at Western Michigan. And you got Dombrowski at short. Pelletier behind the plate. Tousley. Lehman pitching in the 5 spot. R.J. Cromartie playing third base, committed to Notre Dame. Hunter Moret filling in left field. Casey Finn going from shortstop normally on the JV to the first baseman. And Colton Hudnall, longtime son of longtime standout Hudnall over at Clay.
Absolutely. Chad Hudnall was a stalwart on those Clay teams. As you take a look at Patty Kiefer taking the mound for Marian, 2-0 with a 2.29 ERA. Kiefer, in 18 1/3 innings, has allowed 14 hits and 10 walks, but he has fanned 21. You've seen him throw fastball, slider, changeup. What should we look for?
Maybe the same thing that Lehman just did. He has a tendency of bigger games to overthrow just a little bit. I've seen him do that, but I've seen him settle down as well. He's able to really find the zone. He really feeds off the emotion. He's one of those pitchers that's very emotional out there. You don't see that a lot of times in high school level. You see more just kind of kids that just go out there and just throw. He really feeds off the emotion of the game, the emotion of his teammates, and you'll see that out here if he gets ahead early.
First inning tonight being brought to you by our friends at Hardware Plus. As Cooper Hums steps in, the top hitter on this Penn squad with a .408 average. No homers and 5 RBI for the left-handed hitter, as Marian will have a word of prayer before they start pitching to Mr. Hums. Gives us a chance to set the Marian defense for you quickly as Trace Lerlier gets the start in left, Oliver in center, and Scheiko in right. Cole Hunt moves to third base with the injury to Bryce Lassane. Bays at short, Oliver at second, and Bortone at first. Patty Kiefer pitching to Evan Schmittendorf, who somehow we fit that last name into the box.
All the way in that box.
So here's Hums, committed to play at Western Michigan. And Kiefer with the high windup hits the inside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. Kiefer's fastball right around 86, 87 miles an hour. Peering over that mitt as he gets the target. That one misses high and away on the breaking pitch, and it's 1-1. Hums with good speed. He has 4 triples this season. The 1-1. Nice breaking pitch there. He had Hums backing away from a
Nice changeup, broke back across the plate there.
And it's 1-2. You hear the pitch calls coming from the Marian dugout. The 1-2. That's downstairs, and it's 2-2. So I've heard like a 3-digit code coming out, and that's something that I assume that both the pitcher and catcher know what it means.
Yeah, that's one of the new things a lot of schools are going to. College does it as well. It's the 3-digit number signs, whether it's pitching or catching, and offensively when you're talking about hit and run, steals, bunts, different things like that. It's one of those new things that's coming out. I'm an old school.
I know you are. As am I.
I know Dicus is an old school as well.
3-2. Oh, he got Hums fooled on that pitch, and he strikes out. So 1 down as you'll get another look at this pitch on the 46 replay. And Kiefer picked a nice spot for that off-speed pitch.
Yeah, got it nice and inside, down just a little bit, kind of got Hums crossed up a bit.
Here's Cam Dombrowski, the shortstop, batting .375, no homers and 8 knocked in. Dombrowski, I like his swing, Bo. It's compact. It's a line drive swing.
Yeah, he knows what his swing is and what his ability is out there, and he's one of those guys that wants to get doubles and triples, put the ball in play. One true advantage that we see right from the get-go between these two teams is Penn speed. They just have so much speed at the top of the order and their ability to take those extra bases. You can just see it in their first 2 batters.
And Dombrowski's a very patient hitter. He leads this team with 14 walks. I get the feeling there might have been a cross-up on the signs there between Schmittendorf and Kiefer. And so Schmittendorf goes out and talks to his young pitcher. When I say young, Kiefer's a junior, but in terms of varsity experience, this is his first year. That pitch misses downstairs, and it's 2-1. Dombrowski, one of a number of seniors on this Penn squad. This is a very experienced group. 2-1 misses away, and it's 3-1. And I'm sure being down by a run doesn't rattle the Kingsmen all that much at all.
No, I'm sure they've been down plenty of times over the past few years, especially with, like you said, all this senior group that they have.
3-1 check swing. He got it in on the hands of Dombrowski, and it's 3-2. And a reminder, it's 43 degrees at game time, a wind chill of 38. Anything in on the hands, not going to feel real good.
Yeah, I think that's one place where these pitchers could really live today is on that inside corner.
Another payoff pitch from Kiefer. This one sliced away, and it's still 3-2. There is a pitch count in high school baseball. It's 120 for a starting pitcher. Obviously, we don't expect either pitcher to approach that today, but something to keep an eye on as that one's lined to the third baseman Hunt, who makes the grab, and there's 2 away. Not a bad piece of hitting there by Dombrowski, but he just didn't get enough on it.
Yeah, I think that was just a great job. 2-strike approach that he was using there, trying to get inside the ball, get the ball in play in a line drive situation.
Here's the catcher, Zach Pelletier, senior batting .275, no homers and 12 knocked in for the young man committed to play baseball at Huntington University. Takes the fastball from Kiefer high for ball 1. You already saw that strong arm he's got behind the plate. Been very impressed in the couple of games I've watched of him. Takes a strike at the letters there. It's 1-1. Pelletier Thought it might have been a little high.
Yeah, Pelletier doing most of the catching this year with Lehman being basically their number one. Lehman did a lot of the catching last year for him.
And Greg Dykus says he really likes Lehman as a catcher, but he can't do both.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest things with you're talking about the pitch count and the ability to save kids' arms and stuff like that. And they don't want a kid that's going to be one of their main pitchers throwing 75 to 80 pitches once a week or once every 5 days back behind the plate as well.
Here's the 1-2 from Kiefer. And it's lined into center field, and that's where Jacob Oliver is, and he makes the catch to retire the side. 1-2-3 go the Kingsmen in the first after 1-0 Marian on 46. And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by Ivy Tech of South Bend and Elkhart, a cornerstone of education in Indiana. Marian trying to do something they haven't done since 2013, and that's beat Penn on the diamond. Penn has won 11 straight in this series. The last meeting Penn won was 6-5 last year, right on this date, May the 2nd, at least as we record today's game. And the umpires for today's game, father-son crew working today. It's Laird Salmon behind the plate working with his son, Matt.
Reminder, get out there, get your high school officiating license. We need officials big time. A lot of high school games, a lot of JV games that are being canceled because there's not enough umpires out there. We need more people to umpire.
And by the way, you fans, that's partially your responsibility too, not only signing up, but be sportsmanlike when you go to the games and take it easy on these guys because they're not getting paid enough to put up with your garbage.
Marian students learn with humility, serve with compassion, and lead with integrity in the classroom, on the athletic fields, and in the community. This legacy began over 55 years ago. Learn more how you can become part of this tradition and become a Knight by visiting our website at marianhighschool.org. Go Knights!
Well, it's got to be a special moment for my man off to the right here because his son steps into the batter's box here. Cole Hunt, the third baseman today, batting .207, no homers and 5 runs batted in for the sophomore, and he is the only sophomore playing on either varsity roster today. Left-handed hitter, where'd this come from?
His dad taught him well.
Swing and a miss there, 0-1. I chuckle because when my girls were playing softball, I taught them all to play left-handed too, to give them one extra step towards the box, towards first base. As that one misses down low, 1-1, but it's a little bit different for a power hitter like your son.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things when I was started him young, I knew growing up how important it was to hit from the left-handed side, and being a switch hitter myself, it wasn't that hard to really teach him that.
Strike on the outside corner from Lehman, and it's 1-2. Hunt had a big day Saturday against Wenger, 2 for 3 and an RBI. The 1-2 from Lehman fouled away, and it's still 1-2. Cole grew up playing all the different sports. Football, hockey, I remember him playing. Yep. 1-2 delivery. Bounces in. It's 2-2. What is it that he likes most about baseball?
I think a lot of it is, you know, people knock it, but it's the travel ball. It's the summer ball because we had a group that we were together since he was 7 years old, and I think that's one of the biggest things. It was more of a family, and he's got so many friends, and on this Penn team as well, he's got so many kids that he's hung out with over the years and been friends with.
Takes the breaking ball outside. The count goes full to Hunt. He'll be followed by Dylan Hanley and then Trace Elliott here in the second with Marian up 1-0. Payoff pitch. Fouled away, and we'll do it all over again. Different helmet on him. What's the story with that?
Marian only has 5 helmets. We need to get a fundraiser together so they're allowed to wear their summer ball helmets.
He rips a shot, but right at the first baseman, Finn, who comes up with it late, flips to Lehman, and he beat him to the bag. Good persistence there by Casey Finn, and Lehman got off the mound in a hurry to be over there for the first out of the inning. It'll bring up Dylan Hanley, the DH. Hanley batting .433 with a couple of homers and 8 runs batted in. He's going to attend Ball State, but to be a student down there, and you'll learn more about that in our Student Athlete of the Week feature coming up between the 4th and 5th innings. Second inning being brought to us by our friends in the Penn Booster Club. Here comes the 1-0 from Lehman. Swing and a miss on a fastball. It's 1-1.
If you're wondering, Dylan does squat more than I do with those thunder thighs that he has there. He likes to hit the weight room.
Man, he is a strong young man. I shook his hand before the game. Had to go to the trainer. 2-1.
Baseball and tennis for Dylan.
Interesting combo for a young man that looks like that.
Yep.
Lehman's ready for the 2-1, and here it comes. Breaking ball and a beauty on the outside corner, 2-2. That pitch is the difference maker for Adam Lehman.
Yeah, he's got to be able to control that. He's been up a little bit with it. When he does find it, it's a nasty pitch.
And he found it again right there for a called strike 3. Third strikeout of the game for Lehman. And it brings up Trace Lellier, the left fielder. Lellier, a senior, is batting .375. No homers and 6 knocked in. Strike on the inside corner. And for Lehman, maybe some extra motivation facing this Marian squad today because his first cousin, Walt, is one of the Marian assistant coaches.
Walt been around for quite a while. Walt assisted me down at Bremen for 1 year when he first got done at Marian. He's a graduate of Marian.
0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Lehman has settled into his zone with 4 strikeouts and 1.5. Let's go down to Angelo DiCarlo for a Bills Heating sideline report.
Coach, out to a 1-0 lead. Your early thoughts here?
It's better than being down one. So, I mean, hey, we're settling in. I'm sure it's going to be a good game, and one run's not going to win the game. So we got to keep grinding on defense, and Patty needs to keep filling up the zone like he is. So,
confidence-wise, how much does a home run right out of the gate from JJ help you guys early?
I'm sure it jump starts the whole team. You saw the excitement at the plate. So,
all right, Coach, thank you very much. Best
thank
of luck.
you.
Back with bottom of the second right after this on the TV 46 Game of the Week.
This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by Martin Supermarkets. Count on us for all your grocery needs and more. This is a big game in the Northern Indiana Conference today. Penn and Marian both coming in with 6-0 records and some really good teams behind them. I like the top half of the NIC when you think about teams that'll compete for sectional titles.
When you look at those 6 teams right there, any one of those 6 teams, I believe, can make it all the way to semi-state. I think there's no doubt in my mind any one of those teams has the talent, the pitching. They might not be completely deep as some other schools, but they do have their top talent and their top pitchers are good enough.
The one area where St. Joe in that group might be deficient is pitching, but their offense is so good. It gives you struggles in any game.
I think the big thing with St. Joe is they play together as a team. They are scrappy. They have great kids that play together, and they know how to play together as a team.
Evan Tousley is the hitter, batting .289, a homer and 11 RBI for the lanky left-handed right fielder. Patty Kiefer with a high-handed windup, and it's 2-0. I mean, that is kind of an old-timey windup that Kiefer uses.
He likes to change things up. He's one of those pitchers that does a little bit of those hesitations here and there, trying to get the timing messed up just a little bit on the batter.
Well, he's behind 3-0 now on Tousley. And taking all the way for ball 4. So a leadoff walk to start the second for the Kingsmen, and that'll bring up the pitcher and DH today, Adam Lehman. And you have to designate before the game that he is also going to be the DH, because that way if he came out of the game for any reason as pitcher, you could keep his bat in the lineup. He takes a fastball outside for ball one. Lehman batting .286. Couple of homers and 7 knocked in. Tuesley with a good lead over at first. Long pause by Kiefer and a fastball low, 2-0.
6 straight balls now by Patty. Got to find that zone.
You heard Joe Turnock talk about that. You got to fill the zone up against these guys. He was in such a good rhythm in the first inning, but he has not been able to find that rhythm yet here in the second. And still hasn't. It's 3-0.
Your hometown pharmacy in Mishawaka is the best place to go for your pharmaceutical needs. Call to schedule your hormone replacement therapy today. Hometown is proud to support the Marian and Penn baseball teams.
And the 3-0 misses down low, so the Kingsmen start the second with back-to-back walks. And it brings up R.J. Cromartie, the third baseman. Cromartie, only a junior, but already committed to go to Notre Dame for baseball, batting .225 with a homer and 11 knocked in. And this will merit a visit to the mound by the Marian pitching coach. 8 outside the zone, and this will be a one-way conversation as well. As we remind you, there's more high school sports coming up on TV 46. Next Friday night, we'll go into southwestern Michigan. See the renewal of one of their great rivalries, this time on the pitch, as St. Joe and Lakeshore battle in a girls' soccer scuffle. We'll have it for you Friday night, 11, Saturday morning at 9, on your home for high school sports, TV 46. Looking forward to getting up there, seeing our friends up in Southwest Michigan. Those are 2 really good soccer teams. Last week, or this week I should say, St. Joseph beat number 2 Gull Lake 2-1 to get their 8th win of the season.
As you said, Cromartie committed to Notre Dame, hitting in the 6th hole. It's one of those things where you got 2 on, nobody out. Do you lay down that bunt here only in the 2nd inning, or do you let him swing away?
I would say take until this guy throws a strike. There have been 8 straight outside the zone, and that's exactly what Greg Dyke has had him do there. It's on the outside corner for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, it's when somebody's struggling like that, you don't want to give outs up. You want to make sure you stay in there, and especially with somebody like Cromartie, hit a grand slam the other day as well.
That was against Lake Central. The 0-1, he does show bunt, but takes outside, and it's 1-1. Cromartie going to Notre Dame along with St. Joe's Jace Lee. They were grade school classmates at Tarkington School in South Bend. Here comes the 1-1 from Patty Kiefer. Bunt foul down the third base side, and it's 1-2. A ball and 2 strikes, and now you wonder if that takes the bunt off.
Some coaches do. I was always a proponent. It's your job to do a sacrifice bunt, and we always bunted until you got it down. Even with 2 strikes, it was your job. And I tell you what, by the end of my tenure, we were about 90 to 95% successful on those 2-strike bunts.
I'm just saying the last bunt I saw from Cromartie was not one that I would have him do with 2 strikes. The 1-2, swinging a ground ball to short. Bays to second for 1. The relay to first, not in time. Oh, they got him. They called him out, and it's a double play, 6-4-3.
Bays waited on that ball just a little bit, and there's a little bit of hesitation with Oliver getting that out. But Cromartie from the left side, and he can run, but it's one of those plays where it was too close to call, I think.
Well, you're being kind, and I realize we asked the IHSA to get more umpires and things like that. But anybody who looked at that replay could make the call at home. So 2 down, a runner on third, and it'll bring up Hunter Moret, the left fielder. And Moret takes a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. You see the runner at third. That's Tuesley. Kiefer trying to wriggle his way out of a jam. The 0-1. And it goes through the legs of Schmittendorf, and here comes Tuesley. We're tied at 1. Stanley Cup playoffs, and this one goes right through the 5-hole.
Yeah, it's one of those things you cannot have. Wasn't really a wild pitch. It was right in the 5-hole there, and just didn't get the glove down in time.
So Tuesley scores. We're tied at 1, and the count 1-1 on Moret. And there's been a warning given to the Penn bench. Apparently too much verbal jousting for Laird Salmon's like. So the count goes to 2-1. Now Kiefer delivers again, and that one misses high, 3-1. Kiefer has had wildness in this inning, trying to avoid his third walk of the frame, but didn't do it.
With all the walks, he's still only at 17 pitches for the inning, which matches his first inning total. Both pitchers closing on that 40 pitch mark here just in the second inning.
Casey Finn steps in now. Finn batting .241, no homers and 5 runs batted in. This is his first full year on the varsity, and as you mentioned, he's adopted a new position over at first base as he takes a strike. If you can get the footwork down, first base.
Yeah, you got Bryce Harper over there getting ready to start his second career at first base with that arm injury.
Runner goes, the pitch inside. The throw to second is not in time. Moret able to slide around the tag and get a stolen base and put a runner in scoring position with 2 out. You'll see it here. And Matt Salmon says the tag was not applied.
Yeah, just a little off on the throw. Wasn't able to get the tag right on him.
Count at 1-1 on Finn. Go ahead run at second base here for the Kingsmen. Bottom of the second. That one's hit well to left field, but there is Lilliard, and it's over his head, and a run will score. Finn is loping towards second and in there, and Penn leads it 2-1.
Lilliard not able to just get back far enough. Looked like it ran off the tip of his glove just a little bit.
You'll get another look on the 46 replay as shown from our center field camera. It did go right off the glove. That would have to be an E7. But it's 2-1 in favor of the Kingsmen, and here's Colton Hudnall, the second baseman. He fouls one out of play, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, the official score actually marked that down as an error, so the no-hitter stays in effect, but you're down 2-1. The 3 walks have been devastating so far this inning.
And Kiefer still not out of the frame. The 0-1. Breaking ball ripped foul down the third base side into the Marian Penn. But now Kiefer up in the count 0-2, and it's not a place he's been very much this inning. No balls and 2 strikes. Hudnall, a solid second baseman. Batted .303 a year ago. Numbers a little bit down this year. Kiefer's 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and he's out of the inning, but not before the damage is done. 2 runs without the benefit of a hit, a costly error, and after 2, the Kingsmen lead at 2-1 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Purdue Northwest College of Nursing. Kickstart your career with a nursing degree.
The Penn Boosters root for the Kingsmen's success in this game and all seasons, supporting all Penn extracurricular activities. For a $10 donation, you too can show your Penn spirit. Last year, the Penn Boosters awarded over $59,000 for academic clubs and teams. Follow them on Facebook or go to pennboosters.org.
You saw Adam Lehman in the second get into his groove a little bit, and now he goes to the mound with a lead for the first time today. So let's see if that impacts the way he attacks the Marian hitters, as he'll start down with Jacob Oliver, the 9-hole hitter for Joe Turnock's team. Jacob batting 154 on the year, takes outside on the fastball, 1-0. And yes, he is the twin brother of J.J. Oliver, who hit that home run to start the game today. The 1-0 from Lehman. Hit high in the air out towards left center field, and it's going to get down for a base hit. Falling in between Hums and Moret in left and center, and Jacob Oliver has a leadoff single for Marian here in the third.
Nice shot, really fighting off that inside pitch. Got in on him just a little bit, but that actually helped out where it fell in short of the outfielders. I'm sure JJ's probably not going to see a fastball here early in the count.
JJ checking the wristband to see the number code given out and see what it means. It might mean that Jake is trying to run here and that they're trying to do a hit and run. Instead, shows bunt and gets his chin out of the way of a fastball up and in. That'll take the bunt out of your hands in a hurry.
Yeah, that's one thing with the bunt. Squaring around like that completely and getting your body square, something that isn't really taught at the upper levels. They usually just turn your feet. That way you have the ability to get out of the way better.
1-0 the count on J.J. Oliver. And he takes a strike at the knees on the outside corner, 1-1. It was Oliver's home run to lead off the ball game. That accounted for the night's only run, and in fact, the Oliver twins have the night's only hits. Breaking ball foul down the third base side. Oh, Joe Turnock, come on, man. You can come up with that. I know you never missed one of those when you were coaching at Bremen, did you?
The hard ones you don't even try for.
Well,
you just
of course not.
You just watch them go and ignore it, you know, like you never saw it.
1-2 the count. Fouled away. That was a bailout swing that time by J.J. Oliver.
Yeah, he was definitely just trying to fight that one off.
The rear end was going one way and the bat was going the other. 1-2 the count. Lehman from the stretch. And Oliver giving Lehman a workout here in the third.
Couple back-to-back fastballs there. Could be a good pitch to actually run on here. Curveball thinking.
The question being, do you try to run on the arm of Pelletier? Because he showed off a very good gun back in the first.
Yeah, you got to take advantage of those curveball situations. Right there is that curveball. It's going to come in a little bit slower. It's a little bit difficult to catch. And then to get rid of down to second base as well.
That is 5 strikeouts now for Adam Lehman. And he'll face David Scheiko, the right fielder, who he walked the first time up. And I'm not sure what this bright light in the sky is, but I believe we may have seen the sun for the first time in 5 days.
Well, hopefully we get used to it. The way it looks the next 4 or 5 days, supposed to have a little sun, a little warm up here in northern Indiana.
Well, there were a lot of people wondering if this game might be kicked down the road. We are recording it on Tuesday evening. And it's 43 degrees, and there are some that thought maybe with both teams having open dates on Friday that they would wait that long as the pickoff move to first is not in time. But the problem is games start stacking up for teams.
Yeah. That's one of the biggest things in high school baseball. It's just such a short season. So many games compact into such a short season.
The 1-1 hit weakly back towards Lehman. He'll only have a play at first, and he throws there. No, it's dropped by Finn, and everybody's safe. Casey Finn could not hang on to the throw from Adam Lehman, and everybody's safe. And Marian has runners at first and second with only 1 out as you get another look on the 46 Sports replay.
Looked like Finn might have just taken his eyes off the ball. It actually looked like it went through the glove.
And now Marian cooking with the 3-4 hitters due up next. Here's Chase Bays, who struck out his first time up. Runners at first and second with only 1 out. And there's the curveball that Lehman started showing to Bays in the last at bat, and he starts him off with 1 here. 0-1. Bays takes another breaking ball on the inside corner, and it's 0-2.
Same way he started him out the first time, threw him 2 breaking balls and then a high fastball. Back to a breaking.
Bays, a 3-year starter for this Marian squad, waiting for the 0-2 from Adam Lehman. Fastball outside corner called strike 3, and Bays knew it. He strikes out for the second time today, and it leaves it up to Cam Bortone. And a nice job of framing the pitch by Pelletier that time.
Yeah, just did a great job. Might have been outside just a little bit, but 0-2 and you hit your spot, you're going to get that call.
Now the breaking ball misses outside to Bortone, 1-0. There's nobody Joe Turnock would rather have at the plate right now than this guy. Came in batting .484 for the season, walked his first time up. The 1-0. Outside, it's 2-0. Bortone went 4 for 4 with 3 RBI in Marian's win over Concord back on April 14th. You see Scheiko at first, Jacob Oliver at second. Penn leading 2-1, top of the third. Key moment in this ball game right here, the 2-0. Missing high, 3-0, and Evan Schmittendorf waits on deck.
Cam's one of those guys with the open stance. You look like he's going to be more of just that straight pull hitter. He does pull a lot of balls, but he does have the ability to go opposite field as well. He stays inside the ball pretty well.
There's the strike at the knees, and it's 3-1. And they give him a lot of room in the infield between first and second. If Bortone goes that way, this could be a tie game. The 3-1 to the big first baseman. Fouled away and out of play. Now the count runs full at 3-2, and the advantage here is the runners will be off with the pitch.
Yeah, and he got a lot of speed on the base pass with Oliver and Scheiko out there. Once they do get moving, a base knock or something in the gap definitely could score 2 here.
3-2 with 2 away, and a 2-1 Penn lead here in the top of the third. The merry-go-round starts now. And the pitch hits him for ball, well, a hit by pitch. Bortone will go down to first base, and the bases are loaded for Evan Schmittendorf.
Just hung that curveball up just a little bit. I do like the call with the 3-2 curveball, going ahead and going with that off-speed pitch. A lot of kids don't have the confidence to throw that off-speed pitch on a 3-2 count. You got to learn that at a young age. You have to be able to throw that pitch in a full count situation.
So here's Schmittendorf, who struck out swinging his first time up. Lehman's 60th pitch of the day is high and away for ball 1. Schmittendorf with a homer against Jimtown on the 19th and a homer against Riley on the 26th. The wind blowing out towards left. And Lehman ready for the 1-0. Popped up foul behind home plate now to play, and the count evens at 1-1. Bases loaded with 2 away, and the Knights down by a run here in the top of the third. Lehman's pitch, breaking ball and a beauty, but they didn't get called to strike, and it's 2-1.
Looked like it hung just a little bit. One thing I just noticed about Lehman, though, his curveball is up. It's not down in the zone. With the guy on third, that's kind of where you want to have it. You don't want to have that tendency to have a pass ball.
2-1 pitch. Fastball outside. It's 3-1. Cole Hunt waits on deck. Tying run at third. Go ahead run at second. 3-1 to Schmittendorf. Outside, ball 4. He walked in a run. We're tied at 2. And Tom Stanton, the pitching coach, on his way out to the mound to have a word with the Penn ace, Adam Lehman.
Better yet, at Ivy Tech, these programs can be free or low cost depending on a student's chosen path. Start exploring Ivy Tech's high school opportunities. Find one that's right for you. Find out more at facebook.com/IvyTechSBE.
Remember, the run that just scored was unearned. It was set up by the error by Finn. And there you see the NIC earned run average leaders coming into this one. And 4 of the top 6 in the NIC in action in this game today. So we expected good pitching. It hasn't necessarily been that way yet today. And it's a 2-2 game here in the third as Cole Hunt stands in. He grounded out to first his first time up. He hits a hard shot. Finn scoops it up. He'll win the race to the bag, and the inning is over. But the Marian Knights take advantage of a leadoff single and an error, and they tie the game at 2 as we get to the bottom of the third on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Bill's Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951.
THK Law LLP is a proud supporter of high school athletics. THK Law has been helping Michiana families with estate planning, elder law, business matters, and litigation for over 25 years. A big shout out to THK Law LLP.
We appreciate their support, and we appreciate the support of Clover Machinery Movers. They're our third inning sponsor tonight. Penn and Marian locked up at 2, the 2 co-leaders of the Northern Indiana Conference meeting here today. Marian came in with an overall record of 10-3, having lost to Dwenger on Saturday, but they're 6-0 in league play. Penn is 11-5. They've won 4 straight coming in, and they are also 6-0 in league play as Cooper Hums, the top of the order, will lead things off for Penn here in the third. Hums struck out against Patty Kiefer his first time up. Both starting pitchers have had to labor through the first 2.5 as Hums misses on a bunt attempt, and it's 0-1.
Hums got going just a little bit too fast on that pitch and pulled away from it as he was getting ready to try to lay it down.
Apparently ran right out of his shoe there for a minute. Those of us with great speed understand that.
Exactly.
The 0-1 coming from Kiefer. Breaking ball just missed outside, and it's 1-1. Outfield plays Hums straight away, not all that deep. Cooper, the team leader in runs scored and hits for this Penn squad with 20 of each. Now 1-1 misses low, and it's 2-1. Beautiful facility here, Jordan Field. One of the few all-turf fields in northern Indiana, and that's one of the reasons we were able to play today after the deluge on Monday and even Tuesday morning. So that pitch misses outside, 3-1.
A lot of schools going to the turf. Northwood, Fairfield, couple local area teams going to that turf for their baseball and softball complexes.
3-1 misses. Oh, got the outside corner, and it's 3-2. Yep, Fairfield basically saved the Northeast Corner Conference tournament by having that turf field in place, as they were able to play that last week. And congratulations to the Eastside Blazers on their NECC championship as Hums takes ball 4 outside. That is the 4th walk issued in the first 2+ innings by Patty Kiefer. And this was a little bit of a problem for Patty the last time out as well. Kiefer had a great outing against New Prairie when he held that very powerful Cougar offense in check in a 3-1 victory. Gave up 7 hits, but only 1 run against the Cougars. Runner on first, and here's Cam Dombrowski. The runner goes, the pitch a strike, the throw to second not in time, and Hums has himself a stolen base.
Yeah, it's just those extra bases you talk about. That's a walk and a stolen base. He didn't do really anything to really deserve to be there at second base, but that's the thing with baseball. You have to be able to take advantage of situations, and Hums had a huge lead at first base before that steal as well.
Penn has still not had a hit in this game, and yet it's tied at 2. The pitch bounces in, gets away from Schmittendorf, but Hums did not take off, and you'll get another look at the Hums stolen base that got him over to second. And you're right, he had a good lead and a good jump.
Yeah, and a good jump, and the wind's blowing in that direction too, so it's blowing him in a little bit as well.
Angelo reporting from down on the field that the wind has picked up, and as we look out to the flagpole in center, you can definitely see a difference. An Old Glory starched out there. The 1-1 pitch from Kiefer, breaking ball outside corner for a strike. It's 1-2.
He does a really good job of that backdoor curveball kind of coming in there on that last pitch there. Looks like it's going to be outside and then just breaks the last moment right across the plate.
Wind blowing out of the northwest today at about 15 to 20 miles an hour now. Kiefer ready for the 1-2 to Dombrowski. Fouled away and out of play, and we'll do it all over again. Dombrowski, good student, 3.4 GPA. Had a very solid year last year, batted .409, but did a little bit of everything for Greg Dykes' team. He had 28 stolen bases on that state championship squad and 21 RBI. The 1-2, breaking ball missed outside, and it's 2-2. Cooper Hums carries the go-ahead run out at third.
Dombrowski looking to try to move that runner. In order to move that runner, he really wants to pull the ball, but with his swing, he likes to go opposite field with 2 strikes.
And there's strike 3 called, as Dombrowski was fooled by that one from Kiefer. That's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Patty Kiefer, and it brings up Zach Pelletier, the catcher. Pelletier flew out to Jacob Oliver in center field his first time up. Right-handed hitter working against the righty Kiefer. Takes that one inside for ball 1. Pelletier, a 4.2 GPA. He was the All-Northern Indiana Conference DH last season, but pressed into more of a catching role this year with Lehman being the ace of the staff and taken away from the catcher's spot. Pelletier slides out of the way of that one. It's 2-0.
Kiefer trying to work that outside corner, just not getting any luck for that ball to come back across the plate.
2 balls and no strikes now on the Penn senior catcher. There's a breaking ball, but it missed upstairs, and it's 3-0. Mentioned earlier, Pelletier committed to play baseball at Huntington University. So many kids these days opting to go into the Crossroads League, as that one misses outside for ball 4. 5th walk of the game for Kiefer. And Greg Dykes wants to come in and have a quick chat with Evan Tousley. And we'll have a courtesy runner come in for the catcher Pelletier.
Looks like it's 29.
Well, that would be Mason Campbell. So runners at first and second with only 1 out. Marian was able to turn a double play to help get out of a trouble in the second. We'll see if they can get one here. Tousley takes outside for a ball.
Spindorf trying to frame that pitch a little bit more.
A little too much movement for Laird Salmon to be fooled on that one. Here comes the 1-0 from Kiefer. Strike on the outside corner at the knees, and it's 1-1. Patty Kiefer, good student at Marian, 3.7 GPA. Has a good mix of pitches. Getting some looks from some college scouts. And time is called here as Tousley wants to reset. Tousley is the guy that when Penn was struggling early in the year really challenged his teammates to play with some more energy and take better swings. Foul tips this one, and the count is 1-2. that Penn offense early in the year, and Greg Dicus will tell you that they faced some really good pitchers too, and they did. But they really struggled with the bats early in the season.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things. They just weren't putting up the runs that they were used to be putting up, and their pitchers weren't getting. I think that really helped their pitching staff, though, because their pitching staff wasn't getting the run support. So they really had to work in some tough, stressful situations that really prepares you down the stretch.
Yeah, they were winning with some 1-0, 2-1 games quite a bit early. 1-2 pitch misses down low. It's 2-2. But there is some really good pitching in the area. They started off, and Lehman threw that perfect game against LaPorte, but R.J. Anglin has had a magnificent year for the Slicers, and he was the tough luck loser in that one. Gave up 2 hits and took an L. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3 as Kiefer got him with the breaking pitch. 4 strikeouts now for Patty Kiefer, and it'll bring up Adam Lehman, his counterpart. Lehman walked his last time up. 286 hitter on the year. Runners at first and second with 2 away. Kiefer's pitch. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Throw down to third, not in time. So Lehman went around on the pitch, but the ball, which I believe bounced in the turf in front of Schmittendorf. We'll get another look here on the 46 replay at the slide by Hums as he safely gets into third. But that'll be a wild pitch and put runners at second and third.
Yeah, just a great job of Penn taking advantage of that, seeing the ball in the dirt and was out of the box. They were on their way to the bases as soon as that ball hit the dirt. And you teach that a lot. You take off and you read that pitch, it's going in the dirt, and you take off there, and there's any type of bobble, they're never going to throw you out.
And that's how Penn scored the first run, on a ball that went through the wickets of Schmittendorf. 0-2 now, the count on Lehman. Kiefer may be a pitch away from getting out of the jam. Here it is. And that one misses away, 1-2. Penn has benefited from 5 walks and a Marian error today for their 2 runs. Trying to come up with a key hit here on the 1-2 from Kiefer. Lehman hits a ground ball, fouled on the third base side. And the count holds at 1-2. Lehman committed to play at Western Michigan, wants to study marketing up in Kalamazoo. Big, talented baseball player. Kiefer checks the runner at second. Now the 1-2. Breaking ball missed outside, and it's 2-2.
Good spot. Put it right where he needed to put it. Put the pressure on Lehman. Lehman's smart enough to lay off that pitch.
Seems to be getting pretty good movement on his off-speed stuff today.
Yeah, the ball's definitely moving. When the wind's blowing, a lot of times you get that little bit extra movement as well.
The 2-2. Outside, it's 3-2. R.J. Cromartie waits on deck.
And just like that, a little bit too much movement sometimes.
I still don't think I'd give in with a fastball here to Lehman, but we'll see how the Knights play it.
Yeah, a lot of times bigger guys like that, you don't want to let them get their arms extended either.
Payoff pitch. It is a slider that misses outside for ball 4. So Kiefer has walked, the bases loaded, and here's R.J. Cromartie. Cromartie bounced into a 6-4-3 double play after failing to get a bunt down back in the second. .225 hitter on the year. He does have 1 grand slam this year. That came against number 2 Lake Central. Greg Dicus says that he has hit into some tough luck at times this year too. We'll see how the lefty does against the righty Kiefer. He takes a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. Hums the runner at third. Campbell at second. Lehman at first. The 0-1. Hit line into center field, a base hit. One run is in. Here comes Campbell racing for the plate. He'll score. It's 4-2 Penn. R.J. Cromartie with his first hit of the night and the first for the Kingsmen puts Penn back up in front as you'll get another look on the 46 replay. He hummed back on a breaking pitch.
Great job of really just lining that to center field, doing your job, coming through in a big situation to get your teammates runs.
Lehman stops at second. And here's Hunter Moret, who walked and scored back in the second. Foul ball out of play on the third base side. It's 0-1 to Moret. Moret pressed into the lineup after the shoulder injury that Ezra Vespi came up with. Vespi had been playing very well and perhaps the most pleasant surprise for Greg Dicus this season in that outfield. Moret takes a slider down low, and it's 1-1. And just after we talked about how hard the wind was blowing, well, the flag in center field isn't moving, but the evergreens out in left are. So it's a swirling wind here at the Candlestick of Michiana, as this one is dumped into right field for a base hit by Moret. Another run will score. It's 5-2 Penn. And the walks really coming back to haunt Kiefer here. Another look on the 46 replay, and those breaking balls starting to hang a little bit. Here's Casey Finn, the first baseman. Finn reached on an error on the left fielder Lilliard as Kiefer tries to pick off the runner at first. No action yet in the Marian pen. Cromartie at third, Moret at first. There goes Moret, the pitch on the outside corner for a strike, and that'll be a no-throw stolen base for Hunter Moret. Do you think they've found something here in Kiefer's delivery where they're getting a better jump?
No, I think they're just getting a big lead. And I mean, you can see it at first base. He hasn't thrown over to first base one time today, and I think that's one of the biggest things. You got to be able to show that you want to throw over, and you'll take advantage of it.
The 0-1 from Kiefer. At the knees for a strike. It's 0-2 on Finn. Well, we mentioned Kiefer has walked 6 people today, and 5 of those have come around to score.
Walks and errors are the two things you have to be able to win that battle.
The 0-2, nice play by Schmittendorf. Now they've got Cromartie in a run down the throw to the plate, and he is out. A great play by Schmittendorf to reach up and get the tag down on Cromartie just in time, and you'll get another look at it on the 46 replay. As we go to break, Cromartie tagged out at the plate, but Penn scores 3 in the inning and takes a 5-2 lead headed to the 4th. We're back with Greg Dicus after this. And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you by the City of South Bend Golf. One city, 3 amazing courses. We go to Angelo DiCarlo with the Bills Heating Sideline Report.
Coach, you told us last week RJ's been hitting the ball right at people. He didn't hit it right at anyone and get you a 3-run inning.
I hope our bench was watching. All he did was make contact. He went with the pitch, hit it in the gap, got a couple RBIs.
What do you want to see from Adam Lehman here in the top of the 4th?
Well, I tell you the truth, both pitchers are struggling with the temperature and just feeling the ball, so we just hope that he stays in front of the hitters and keep the walks down.
Coach, thank you very much. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, Chuck and Bo, back to you.
Thank you, Angelo. Good job down there with Greg Dicus. And we get ready for the 4th inning, brought to us by Clover Machinery Movers.
Clover Machinery Movers is proud to support the Kingsmen Athletics for over 65 years. Clover Machinery Movers has been providing professional and reliable machinery moving. When you need your project done right, on time, and on budget, contact the experts at Clover Machinery Movers.
As that pitch misses for ball 1. Adam Lehman with the 66 pitches through the first 3 innings. He doesn't want to continue at this pace or he won't be able to complete the game. But that's up to throwing strikes, which he does right there on a count of 1-1 to Dylan Hanley, the DH. Hanley struck out looking his first time up. That pitch misses low and away, and it's 2-1. Greg Dykes mentioned the cold and being able to get the grip, and obviously that affects pitchers the most.
Yeah, it's your fingers aren't able to get that moisture on them, that little bit of a sweat, to get that little bit of a grip, and the ball just slides out, and the ball's a little bit harder because of the cold weather as well. That's why you see that high pitch a little bit. Not only are you amped up in a big game too, but that ball's just going to slide out a little bit more.
2-2 curveball got Hanley on a weak foul tip into the mid of the catcher for strike 3, and Hanley strikes out for the second time today. The strikeout starting to rack up for Adam Lehman now, as he has fanned 7 through the first 3 1/3. And here's Trace Lilliard, the left fielder. He struck out his first time up. And now Lehman coming Powder River to Lilliard, 0-1. Lehman can rack up the Ks. He had 13 against John Glenn, and that was the one that Greg Dykes won for his 800th career victory.
Been around for a while.
36 years to be exact, 5 state titles. Been married to his wife Sally for 47 years. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Lilliard was tardy on the fastball, and that's 8 Ks now for Lehman as Jacob Oliver will come to the plate. He singled and scored back in the 3rd. Two runs, 2 hits, and no errors. That should be 1 error for Marian, but they've changed the scoring now on the fly ball to left back in the 2nd inning.
Got to get those stats up.
No balls and a strike. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball that missed high, and the count is 1-1. That one missing low. 2 balls and a strike to Jacob Oliver. Another one of the returning starters on this Marian team, and yet they're going to have a lot of returning starters next year as well.
Yeah, a lot of juniors on this team. Jacob batting in the 9-hole, but he's very confident at the plate, very quiet, sees a lot of pitches, understands, and has a really good swing as well.
3-1 from Lehman. Hit on the ground on the 3rd base line, but foul. And the count goes full at 3-2. Penn leading 5-2 after a big 3-run bottom of the 3rd. In case you joined us late, Marian jumped on top on a J.J. Oliver home run in the 1st. Penn got 2 in the 2nd, Marian 1 in the 3rd, and Penn 3 in the 3rd. And a foul tip here as Jake Oliver stays alive and keeps Lehman, at least for now, from striking out the side. Now the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Lehman fans the side here in the 4th. Adam Lehman starting to heat up, and so have the Penn Bats today. They lead at 5-2 halfway home in the Princess City. And this edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Reliance. Building homes from initial concept to full completion, we do it all. Take a look at that Penn bench, and there's some experience there of hoisting trophies. 5 state titles for Penn in baseball, 5th all-time in the state. Laporte and Andrean tied with Lafayette Central Catholic now for number 1. Of course, a lot of those Laporte titles under Ken Shriver before we even went to classes.
Yeah, way back in the day, and see Lafayette Central Catholic there. Had a chance to run into them. That small college when I was coaching in the regionals against them. Hardware Plus is a proud supporter of high school sports and has been Osceola's favorite local hardware store for nearly a century, featuring a wide selection of products and customer service experts. Hardware Plus, where service begins with the words, "How can I help you?" and a handshake.
Casey Finn leads off the inning for Penn. He was at the plate when R.J. Cromartie was thrown out on the bases to end the third. Finn with a ground ball, backhanded by Hunt at third. He bobbles, and it'll be an error on Cole Hunt. Could not make the exchange cleanly that time, and Finn is safe at first on the error as you get another, well, maybe not. A look on the 46 replay. Here it comes.
It's one of those plays where got ahead of himself a little bit, didn't get the ball out, and tried to hurry it.
That'll bring up Colton Hudnall, the second baseman who struck out his first time up. And let's see if Kiefer will throw over to first with Finn having a big lead over there now. He doesn't this time, and Hudnall takes a ball low. We mentioned earlier, Colton, the son of former Clay basketball state champion Chad Hudnall. Chad died of cancer when Cooper was 9. Or actually when Colton was 9, excuse me. Comes in batting .269. No homers, 6 runs batted in. There goes Finn, swing and a miss. Throw down to second. He is safe. Throw was to the third base side of the bag, and by the time Bays could come back with the tag, Finn got his hand in there. You'll see it here on the 46 Sports replay.
Yeah, just they're stealing it now. They're stealing it too on Patty as well. Just he's taking too big of a leg kick. He's got to be able to do a slide step and hold those runners. Too many extra bases are being given away.
That's the third stolen base, or excuse me, the fourth stolen base for Penn today. Here's the 1-1. Bunt laid down by Hudnall up the third base side. Schmittendorf fires to first and gets him. Second baseman covering on the play, so the sacrifice goes 1-4 on the play. Finn goes to third. He's there with one away for the leadoff hitter, Cooper Holmes. That's how you get the bunt down.
Yeah, just a great job of getting the bunt down before you leave the box. He just did a good job of that. A lot of players try to bunt and take off running as they're doing it. It's a sack bunt. Get the bunt down, then leave the box.
Infield comes in now with a runner at third and less than 2 out. And Hums with a weak swing and a miss there. It's 0-1. Hums, the leading hitter on this Penn team with a .408 average coming in. He had 3 hits in their win over Lake Central. The 0-1. That's a little bit low, and the count goes to 1-1.
Been pretty consistent not giving that call on that low pitch down there.
Hunt inside the bag at third. Bortone on the green part of the turf at first. The 1-1. Lofted in the air into right center field. That'll bring the run home as it's a base hit for Cooper Hums. In trots Finn, and it's 6-2 Penn.
Ball just hung up in the air and was able to fall down in the gap.
Hums put a good swing on it, hit it off the end of the bat. And neither Jake Oliver nor Scheiko really got a good read on it. So 6-2 in favor of Penn, and here's Cam Dombrowski. 0 for 2 today, a line out to third and a strikeout. Pitch misses outside for ball 1. And now those 4 stolen bases, you can see Schmittendorf getting a little antsy behind the plate as well.
Yeah, Hums out to a pretty decent lead over there at first base. He's got the movement like he's gonna go, and he's gone.
And a ground ball to the first baseman that gets under the glove of Bortone, and everybody is colliding at first base, but out is the call at first, as Kiefer was able to get over there and accept the throw from J.J. Oliver.
Yeah, Bortone wasn't able to come up with that. It was a tough play for Bortone to try to come in on that ball, but good job of Oliver backing him up. Nice little flip over to Kiefer. Kiefer had the ball, went to try to get it out of his glove for the second out.
Right call made by Matt Salmon there. 4-1 on the putout. Hums goes over to second with 2 away. And here's Zach Pelletier. Pelletier with a fly out to center, and he walked and scored in the third. Swing and a miss there at a Kiefer fastball, and it's 0-1. No balls to strike the count on Pelletier. High fly ball into right field. Scheiko moving over. The wind blows his cap off, and he falls down as he tries to make the catch. A run scores. Pelletier will go to second with a double. It's 7-2 Penn. Hums is able to score. The wind makes every fly ball an adventure today.
Yeah, it's one of those things where they're just trying to guide or just kind of go over and glide over to the spot. You got to be able to get over to that spot, see the ball, and understand that that ball is going to be moving a little bit with that wind.
Scheiko trying to make a sliding catch but couldn't. It's an RBI double for Pelletier. 7-2 in favor of the Kingsmen, and here's Evan Tousley, the right fielder. And Tousley takes one down low for ball 1. Tousley with a walk, a run scored, and a strikeout today. Patty Kiefer about to throw his 90th pitch. And it misses inside. It's 2-0. Kiefer takes a deep breath out there on the hill. Penn starting to swing the bat much better here in the 3rd and 4th inning, and it's paying off. Here's a high fly ball hit deep to left field. That's way back up in the wind and gone. Home run, Evan Tousley, his 2nd of the season, and it's a 9-2 Penn lead. He got one up in the jet stream, and it sails out of Jordan Field. For Tousley, his 10th extra base hit of the year, that leads the team. And he's had some big extra base hits in big games. He had a bases loaded triple against Mishawaka, and now an opposite field 2-run homer against Marian.
That was just a great swing of staying back, driving that ball to opposite field. I mean, just a great job by Tousley.
And that'll bring up Adam Lehman. Lehman walked his last time up. In fact, he's walked both times up today. And you take a look at Tousley coming in, a little Euro step as he came across home plate.
It is the playoffs.
Now the 2-0 count. And Kiefer hits the outside corner with that one. It's 2-1. And there is some stirring out in the Marian pen. The pitch to Lehman. Swing and a miss. Oh, he was going for the downs and came up empty. And the inning is over, but not until the Kingsmen plate 4, highlighted by the Evan Tousley home run. And after 4, Penn leads Marian 9-2 on 46.
Time now for our Tony Letcher Health Market Student Athletes of the Week. We have Marian senior Dylan Hanley and Penn senior Max Sanders here with us today, both members of their respective baseball teams. We'll start with Dylan, 3.98 GPA. You play baseball, you play tennis, you're involved in weightlifting, German club, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union Student of the Month. How do you pull all of this off?
It's difficult, but I can find time for everything. Just got to get my priorities straight, and at the end of the day, I just got to know what I want to do in the future and follow through with it.
What's your experience at Marian been like, and how has that helped mold who you are today?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I think just the environment and the people there help shape who I am, and if I'm going in the wrong direction, they're there to help me get right back where I need to be.
You're planning to go to Ball State. Why Ball State, and what are you planning on majoring in?
I'm planning on majoring in biology, and I just thought it was a good fit for me. I visited a couple times, just had a good atmosphere, liked the people there, and yeah.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to help you that have helped you get to this point?
Most of all, my parents and my girlfriend. They've just been very supportive, and I know they would do anything to help me out if I needed anything.
Dylan, congratulations.
Yep, thank you.
All right, Max Sanders, a senior first baseman for the Penn Kingsmen. 4.1 GPA. You're obviously on the baseball team. You're a freshman mentor, and you're in the Key Club. How do you make it all work?
A lot of time management. You know, like he said, priorities straight. It's always school first, but want to make time for baseball too. Just making sure I'm getting my homework done, studying for tests, and getting good grades and everything.
What has being a Penn Kingsman meant to you?
Honestly, there's a lot of pride that comes with the name. It's a very big school, and we have a good reputation. But at the same time, the teachers, they're really great, and they help out whenever you need help. And, yeah, just the pride factor being a Penn Kingsman is the best part.
You're headed to Butler to major in finance. Why Butler? Why finance?
Finance just because it's something I'm interested in. My dad is a businessman, so it's kind of along the road for me. And visited Butler, their school of business, has great prospects, and I'm hoping that going there gives me the best step for my future in business and being a successful businessman.
All right, who you want to give a shout out to?
Especially my parents, but also the coaches on this great staff and this amazing team, and my teammates who have helped me along the way.
Max, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
That's Max Sanders from Penn, Dylan Hanley from Marian, our Student Athletes of the Week, presented by Tony Letcher of Health Markets. We've got fifth inning action in our 46th game of the week right after this.
This edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you by Basney Honda, your #1 Honda dealer for the last 35 years. Welcome back to Jordan Field. Thanks to Odds for taking care of the Tony Letcher Health Market segment. Chuck and Bo high above the fray, and Penn starting to swing the bats.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. They're really coming through in the situations where they need to. Marian was able to, put some guys on base via the walk, via a couple errors, and Penn took advantage of that. And that's what good teams do. They take advantage of the situations that you give them, and they've been able to put the 9 runs up because they've taken advantage of the situations.
Doesn't hurt that Adam Lehman is throwing the ball well right now, too, because he's done quite the job. As you take a look at it, Evan Tousley out there in right field, his 2-run opposite field home run, part of that 4-run fourth inning for the Kingsmen that helped break this one open. So 9-2 as J.J. Oliver stands in to lead off the fifth. Oliver had a home run earlier in the game, checked his swing on a pitch that was called a strike, and it's 0-1. J.J. playing second base today. Taps one foul, and it's 0-2. Should be noted, Marian is playing without its top power hitter today, as Bryce Lassane, actually not power hitter, but top RBI man, had a hand injury and was unable to go today.
Lassane, the quarterback on the football team, he's a born leader for this team as well.
But Oliver gets the fifth inning started for Marian with an infield single, a little dribbler that Cromartie just had to stick in his pocket because of the speed of JJ. And so an infield single gets things started for the Knights, and here's David Scheiko, the right fielder.
This game's health tip is brought to you by HealthLink. Everyone knows you can't play or learn if you don't feel your best. If your child isn't feeling well, schedule a sick visit at HealthLink. HealthLink offers medical, dental, vision, and more.
Pitch grounded to the first baseman, Finn. He'll collect it, step on the bag for the out. On the play, Oliver goes to second. He's there with one away for Chase Bays, who has struck out twice today against Adam Lehman. Lehman has been impressive since giving up that leadoff homer to start the game. He is fan 9 today. Here's the pitch. There's a strike at the knees on the outside corner, 0-1. I mean, Lehman has given Bays a pretty good working over in those 2 at-bats so far today.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the 3, 4, and 5-hole hitters for Marian, Lehman has done nothing but throw 80% curveballs to those 3 guys.
Here's a bouncer up the middle. It's backhanded by the second baseman, Hudnall. The throw to first is dropped by Finn, and everybody's safe. And here comes the runner from third to score, and he's in there.
Great heads-up play by Oliver. Finn was just furious with himself over there at first base. Couldn't believe he dropped another one. And nobody really paying attention to Oliver at third base.
And Oliver just did beat the wrap at the plate, as you see Finn showing his frustration. And Oliver watched it and just dove in ahead of the tag of Pelletier. So it's a 9-3 game. And Casey Finn getting a new glove. Well, you mentioned earlier you thought the first one went through the glove on him.
Yeah, it just looked like it was weird. A lot of times, that Rawlings glove that he was actually using, I know that very well because that's one of the gloves we use in just practice and stuff, because it kind of has a tendency to flex a little bit at the end, and if you catch it off the end of the glove, it doesn't stick in the glove as well, and it just kind of falls out. And that's what happened on that last one right there, and I think that's what happened on the first one.
That would explain why we didn't get the Rawlings sponsorship for the broadcast. 1-1 the count. And Bortone fouls this one out of play, and the count goes to 1-2. Bortone has walked and been hit by a pitch today. Lehman delivers. Swing and a miss, and Bortone becomes strikeout victim number 10 of Adam Lehman this evening. Evan Schmittendorf with a strikeout and a walk today, strides to the plate. Schmittendorf came into the action batting .310 on the season. His younger brother Ryan is a wrestler here at Penn. As he swings and misses at that one, it's 0-1.
Penn wrestling team has been known for putting some stellar athletes all the way through to college level at the wrestling team. A lot of state champs, a lot of state finalists, I should say.
Every family has to do what's right for them, and sometimes that means dividing up the kids to what's right for them. The 0-2 hit on the ground to Finn. He collects this one, steps on the bag, and the inning is over. But not until Marian plates a run on a hit, one error, and after 4.5, it's 9-3 Penn on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by the Warren Golf Course, located at Notre Dame. It's the top collegiate course in the country. New pitcher in for the Marian Knights, and it's Cole Hunt who will take the mound here for Marian, as Greg Dykes earlier this year picked up his 800th career win. And before the game, Angelo had a chance to talk with the veteran coach about the meaning of that accomplishment.
It just means I'm getting old right there. You know, I've been blessed to be at a great institution, have great coaching, the administration here. Can't say enough about the kids. You know, they work hard. It's great to be around them, a lot of fun, and it just means a lot to be around them.
Meanwhile, Cole Hunt taking the hill here, and you've seen him pitch. What does he throw?
I can't divulge what.
Suddenly you're not going to give a scouting report?
I can for sure. He's actually a 5-pitch guy. Tendencies to throw a lot of strikes around the zone a lot. We always taught him to use his defense. So he is one of those kids that's going to definitely use his pitches to kind of work the corners, and hopefully the defense, he can let the ball be put in play and use his defense behind him. Of course, he's pitching against Penn in a big matchup here, and why listen to Dad when he's up in the booth?
Hey, all he's got to do is face a Notre Dame commit here to start off the inning as we go to the bottom of the 5th, and it's 9-3 Kingsmen, and R.J. Cromartie, who broke the 2-2 tie back in the 4th inning with a 2-run single, steps in there. Hunt with the pitch, and it misses high, ball 1. Now, that is kind of a different delivery that I'm seeing from him.
Yeah, so he does the little bit of a hesitation on his pitching as well to kind of throw that off, and then he'll speed it up a little bit as well. They're a little bit faster.
Here's a line drive left field, and it's in there for a base hit. An opposite field single for Cromartie, who takes a big turn and holds at first with a leadoff single here in the 5th. That is the 7th hit credited to the Kingsmen today.
Cromartie, great job of throwing the hands inside and driving that ball to left field. I love how he rounded first base there, just really hard, looking to take that extra base.
And Laird Salmon has had just about enough of the antics from the Penn dugout today and is letting the Kingsmen bench know about that.
Marian students learn with humility, serve with compassion, and lead with integrity in the classroom, on the athletic fields, and in the community. This legacy has began over 55 years ago. Learn more how you can be part of this tradition and become a Knight by visiting our website at marianhs.org. Go Knights!
Hunt misses down low with ball 1 as you see Cromartie over at first. Kingsman trying to build on a 9-3 lead. Throw over to first will chase him back.
That might be the first throw over to first by any pitcher today.
Hunt, only a sophomore. Plays multiple positions. The 2-0 pitch, sliced foul, and it's 2-1.
Hometown Pharmacy in Mishawaka is the best place to go for your pharmaceutical needs. Call to schedule your hormone replacement therapy today. Hometown is proud to support the Marian and Penn baseball teams.
2-1 the count on Hunter Moret. Pitch. Moret showed bunt. Now Schmittendorf tries to throw back to first, but Cromartie dives in safely as the count goes to 3-1. There you see Greg Dykes. There you see where he ranks in the Penn coaching ranks. 800 wins, but the winning percentage puts him 6th on the current staff. Christy Ulrich leading the way at 868. Boy, that's a tough crowd. As there's a stolen base for Cromartie, and the count goes to
3-1 at this point.
3-1 now. Cromartie just eluding the tag there at second. The 5th stolen base of the day for the Kingsmen. Hunt's 3-1 pitch is just a bit outside for ball 4, and there's runners at first and second with nobody out for the first baseman, Casey Finn. Boy, you saw that graphic up for Greg Dykes. You think of the winning coaches that they have here at Penn. But Dykes says one of the things he enjoys about coaching here is the staff, because he says they'll keep you humble.
Yeah, that is for sure. I mean, you look at all the wins, and it's just that Penn. I mean, in all their sports, they've always been like that. We always know, covering them in the umpteen years that we have as well, that, you know, you got to go through Penn for the conference. You got to go through Penn for sectionals and regionals.
Speaking of sectionals, we'll be here for the boys track sectional in a couple of weeks on May 18th. Cole Hunt's pitch. Strike on the outside corner. He went with a little Louis Tion action there that time.
Something that he likes to do that drove me crazy for a while as a coach. Then I started to live with it.
And if you don't know who Louis Tion is, as we say, Google it. Great pitcher for the Cleveland Indians and then the Boston Red Sox. The 0-1 pitch is behind the hitter. Schmittendorf will go track it down, but the runners advance 90 feet. So runners at second and third, nobody out, and Finn at the plate with a 1-1 count. And that one looked like it just slid out of the hands on a cold day. There's also action in the Penn bullpen as Lehman's pitch count continues to mount. 1-1 the count on Finn. That one misses outside, and it's 2-1. Casey has reached on errors twice today. Well, actually, he was credited with a double back in the second. So there you see the work in the Penn pen. Ian Ian Hernandez is working down there. The 2-1. Swinging a ground ball, backhanded by Bays at short. He holds the runner, throws to first. Nice play.
Oliver actually moved over to shortstop there. Bays at third. Great job by Oliver.
That's right. With Cole coming in to pitch, they had to shuffle the defense a little bit. And there you see it's J.J. Oliver with a nice play. Brings up Colton Hudnall, who's 0 for 1 officially. A strikeout and a good sacrifice bunt back in the 4th. Hunt not distracted by the runner charging down the line at third. The pitch bounces away from Schmittendorf. He can't find it, and a run scores on a wild pitch. It's 10-3 Penn.
The Penn Boosters root for Kingsmen success in this game and all season, supporting all Penn extracurricular activities. For a $10 donation, you too can show your Penn spirit. Last year, Penn Boosters awarded $59,000 for academic clubs and teams. Follow them on Facebook or go to pennboosters.org.
10-3 the score, the 1-0 to Hudnall. Outside, it's 2-0. Opportunistic might be the best way to describe the Kingsmen today. Marian has given them opportunities with walks and wild pitches and errors and stolen bases, and Penn has made almost every one of them hurt. As that pitch misses outside, it's 3-0. And then the Kingsmen have had some timely hitting, none more timely than the 2-run single by Cromartie, which broke open a 2-2 tie in the 3rd.
Yeah, that was just a big at bat right there. 2 outs, just driving the ball up the middle, getting the runs in, getting that lead.
There's a strike called on the outside corner, and it's 3-1. Three balls and a strike to the Penn second baseman. Outfield not all that deep for Colton. Wind continuing to howl out to left. The pitch. Line drive, right field, base hit. The runner, for some reason, didn't break from third. Now he does. It's 11-3. Moret was slow to react to the base hit off the bat of Hudnall. You'll get another look here on the 46 replay. So Moret scores from third on the Hudnall RBI single for Hudnall, his 7th run batted in this season. And it brings up Cooper Hums, who had an RBI single his last time up. Penn trying to go to 7-0 in NIC play. And there's a check swing for a strike. And remember, we're getting into a situation now where the 10-run rule could come into effect.
Yep, 2 more runs here and put the Knights away.
The 0-1 outside, and it's 1-1. And you're at the top of that Penn order as well.
Better yet, at Ivy Tech, these programs can be free or low cost, depending on a student's chosen path. Start exploring Ivy Tech's high school opportunities to find one that's right for you. Find out more at facebook.com/IvyTechSBE.
1-1 the count to Hums. The pitch outside, and the runner trots down to second on a stolen base. With a lot of games coming up this week for both teams, Penn perhaps concentrating on trying to finish this one off early, save some innings for some pitchers. 2-1 the count. Outside and high, it's 3-1. And Cam Dombrowski waits on deck. Outfield playing, Hums to pull. And the 3-1 swing and a miss. Looked like he pulled the string there.
Yeah, it looked like his changeup that he likes to throw. It's one of his pitches when we talked about younger. We threw 80% changeups when he was 7, 8, 9 years old, really to understand the form of really throwing that pitch.
Let's see if he comes back with it here on 3-2 to Hums. The pitch outside, he missed. Ball 4. So runners at first and second with one away. The game on the bases right now for the Kingsmen as Dombrowski comes to the plate.
THK Law LLP is a proud supporter of high school athletics. THK Law has been helping Michiana families with estate planning, elder law, business matters, and litigation for 25 years.
Cam Dombrowski came into the action batting .375. He's 0 for 3 today. Oliver got him with a nice play at second base last time. Ball in the dirt. Schmittendorf throws to third, and they didn't get him. He's safe.
Wow, looks like the throw beat him there, and the tag might have got him, but Bays was off balance a little bit, trying to get to the base. Didn't quite get back to it. He stepped right on his glove, it looked like.
It appeared he might have stepped on the glove, but that's not the way Matt Salmon saw it. So runners at second and third, and now a base hit to the outfield could end this game for the Kingsmen.
Clover Machinery Movers is proud to support the Kingsmen Athletics for over 65 years. Clover Machinery Movers has been providing professional and reliable machinery.
Line drive right to the second baseman, Scheiko, and there's 2 out in the inning.
They've been providing reliable machinery moving. When you need your project done right, on time, and on budget, contact the experts at Clover Machinery Movers.
So here's Zach Pelletier, the catcher. Pelletier, right-handed hitter, working against the righty Cole Hunt. Outfield playing him to pull as well. Big gap in right center. Hunt drops a changeup low, and it's ball 1.
Hardware Plus is a proud supporter of high school sports and has been Osceola's favorite local hardware store for nearly a century, featuring a wide selection of products and customer service experts. Hardware Plus, where service begins with the words, "How can I help you?" and a handshake.
5th inning brought to us by Clover Machinery Movers. As that one misses high, 2-0 to Pelletier. He is one of a number of Penn athletes who works for Kurt Rollo writing for the Pennant here at Penn. They do a great job of covering all kinds of different things, but especially sports here at Penn. 2-0 pitch to Pelletier. Outside, it's 3-0, and Evan Tousley, who had a 2-run homer his last time up, is on deck. Three and 0 the count. Runners at second and third with 2 out. And Hunt's pitch misses down low for ball 4, so the bases are loaded for Tousley. Tousley has walked and scored. He has struck out, and he has that 2-run homer, as we'll see a courtesy runner come in for Pelletier, and again, it's Mason Campbell. Tousley would not mind getting a walk-off hit to end this one. Hunt trying to keep Marian alive here in the 5th. The sophomore fires. Breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike. 0-1. That was some brie. That was some soft cheese right there.
Yeah, it was. That was a, let me get this over for a strike, please.
No balls and a strike. Time called. What's it like broadcasting a game your son is in?
You know, it's not that bad. The only thing is the frustration of me wanting to yell out a couple times.
Bouncer off Hunt's glove into center field, a base hit, and that will win the game for the Penn Kingsmen. A 2-run single for Tousley, and that makes it 13-3, and the ball game is all over. The Penn Kingsmen take a big NIC win here today as they knock off the Marian Knights by a final score of 13-3. You'll get one more look at the game-winning hit for our player of the game, Evan Tousley, as he takes it up the middle right off the glove of Hunt and into center. Penn is 7-0 in the NIC, and we're back to wrap it up from Jordan Field after this on 46. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you by Crown Trophy. They're nationally known and locally owned. Time for a Bills Heating sideline report on the postgame show. We go downstairs to Angelo DiCarlo with our player of the game.
Here with Evan Tousley. Evan, bats have been hard to come by for you guys this year. Not tonight. This has to be a real good feeling.
It is a great feeling, to take down a great team like Marian. It feels good, and to take the momentum and further in our season, keep the bats rolling is important.
How important was this one, obviously, in the race for the conference? Both teams were undefeated in conference play coming into this one.
Yeah, it was very important. Both of us were 6-0, I think, coming into it. So there was a lot of talking going on between teams, so it felt good to get the win.
How about individually? You get the big homer, and then you get the walk-off hit to end it. How did that feel for you individually tonight?
It felt good, but it was a team win, and not me, but it was the whole team.
How much can bats like this help you guys now moving forward? Because again, there was that, you guys haven't batted the way you guys have wanted to for a good portion of the season.
Yep. So our pitchers have kept us in the games for a lot of the season. It just feels good to get some support for our pitchers, and they can pitch with the lead, and that's when we're most dangerous, I think.
All right, Evan. Thank you very much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, that's Evan Tousley, our player of the game, as the Kingsmen get the big victory here in 5 innings.
All right, thank you very much, Anj. We're back to wrap things up from Jordan Field after this on 46.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV 46 High School Game of the Week, brought to you by
Penn Kingsmen showing their dominance in the Northern Indiana Conference tonight with a 13-3 win over the Marian Knights as we welcome you back into the side. The Martin Supermarket broadcast booth. Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt with you. And partner, an impressive display by the Kingsmen tonight. Yes, they hit the ball well, but they were just so opportunistic and really took advantage of everything Marian gave them. Unfortunately for Marian, that was a lot.
I think the biggest thing with Penn year in and year out is they take advantage of situations with the opponent gives them, and they capitalize on them. And they did that exact thing tonight, and that's why they won by 10 runs. Not just won by 10.
You have to beat them. They're not going to beat themselves. And then when they do get the bats going, and they certainly did as this game went along. We talked about R.J. Cromartie's big 2-run hit to break it open, a 2-2 tie, and then Evan Tousley had himself a big night, including a little Oppo Taco action.
Yeah, he just did a great job really staying back on that ball and driving it to opposite field.
And the ball was carrying to left field tonight with the wind blowing that way, a part of a 4 RBI night for Tousley tonight. So the happy totals for the Kingsmen, they have 13 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors. For Marian, 3 runs, 3 hits, 1 error. Adam Lehman was impressive on the mound tonight. Once he got out of that first inning, wound up striking out 10.
Yeah, he did a really good job of settling down. His pitch count was getting up high, but you could see him. He got some confidence as he got towards the bottom of Marian's order, and that rolled around to the top, and he really started getting 1 and 2 pitch outs instead of working the count 3, 4. I think he was through 40-some pitches in just the first 2 innings.
Penn now 7-0 in the NIC. Marian 6-1, but Kingsmen still have some landmines they've got to navigate. They've got St. Joe on Monday, and the Monday after that, I believe they have New Prairie.
Yeah, and they got Bremen tomorrow, I believe. So watch out for those Lions as well.
So, all right, great to be out here at Penn High School in Jordan Field. Our thanks to both Greg Dykus of Penn and Joe Turnock from Marian for all the help they gave us. And our thanks to our 46 crew, led by our production manager, Dean Korsbo, the mighty octet that was with us tonight, working, making sure this game got on the air in not-so-warm conditions. A reminder, next Friday, we've got high school soccer action for you from the state of Michigan as the St. Joe Bears, fresh off a win over number 2 Gull Lake this week, take on their arch rival, the Lakeshore Lancers. We'll have that one for you from Cone Lehman Field next Friday night at 11 and Saturday morning at 9. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for all your updates. Now for my broadcast partners, Bo Hunt and Angelo DiCarlo, it's Chuck Freeby. Once again, the final, Penn 13, Marian 3. So long from the Princess City.